Hello, friend. I'm Lily Rose, and this is Through the Ashes, a podcast about grief and the quiet ways we grow because of it, not in spite of it. I am so glad you're here. A small reminder before we begin, I am not your therapist, just someone learning to live with loss and still believe in beauty. If you're in crisis or need immediate support, please reach out to a professional or a trusted friend. You don't have to walk this alone. Now let's begin. After loss, it's easy to lose sight of who you are. Grief can take everything familiar, your routines, your laughter, even your reflection, and scatter it like ashes in the wind. One day, you wake up and realize you don't recognize the person staring back at you. You used to know what made you feel alive. Now, even the simplest things feel foreign. And that's the thing about grief. It rearranges the furniture of your soul. You're still you, but everything inside of you feels moved around. For a while, I tried to go back to before, before the loss, before the ache, before my world completely changed. But every time I reached backward, I touched a version of myself that didn't really exist anymore. And maybe that's okay, because loss doesn't just take, it also transforms. We emerge different, tender in new places, strong in others, and infinitely more aware of how fragile and sacred it all is. Coming home to yourself after loss isn't about rebuilding the same house. It's about learning to live in a new one that honors both who you were and who you are becoming. There's a moment, quiet and almost invisible, when healing begins. It's not dramatic, it's not fireworks. It's the first time you wake up and realize you didn't cry. The first time you notice beauty and it doesn't hurt you to see it. For me, it wasn't a big cinematic moment. It was quiet, ordinary. I was driving and a song came on, our song, the one that used to make my chest ache. But this time, instead of breaking me, I took a breath. I smiled a little. The tears that came weren't heavy, they were soft, like a thank you. That's when I knew healing had begun. Not because I stopped missing him, but because missing him didn't destroy me anymore. Grief hadn't left, it had simply learned to live beside me, gently. Healing isn't forgetting, it's remembering with love instead of pain. Those moments are milestones, tiny little lanterns lighting your way back home. And yet, healing doesn't always feel soft. Sometimes it comes with edges, with defensiveness, or quiet withdrawals. Our grief, like a rose's thorns, isn't meant to hurt others. It's meant to protect the tender parts of us still learning to live again. It reminds us that even in pain, we are still capable of beauty, that the same heart that aches can also bloom. Here's a practice that could help you. I call it the mirror moment. 1. Pause. Find a quiet space. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your reflection, even if it feels hard. 2. Name. Say something kind to yourself, something you'd said to a friend. 3. Notice. What parts of you feel missing? What parts feel new? 4. Nurture. Ask, what will help me feel more like me today? Maybe it's music. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's calling someone who remembers your person. Healing starts in those small moments that you can recognize yourself. Sometimes we fear that coming back to ourselves means leaving them behind. But what if it's the opposite? What if finding yourself again, it's how you keep carrying their love forward, not as a shadow, but as a light? You are not betraying their memory by living fully. You are honoring it. They loved you for your aliveness, your laughter, your dreams, your heart. Coming home to yourself is the truest way to keep them close. Here's today's tiny tool. The 4Ls practice. A gentle way to reconnect with your inner world. Listen, lean, let, and look. Listen. Notice what your body and heart are asking for today. Lean. Rest into support, a friend, a walk, a moment of quiet. Let. Allow emotions to rise and fall without any judgment. Look for one thing, just one, that reminds you you are still here. To the ones learning how to breathe again, slowly, softly, without an apology, I see you. You have walked through fire and silence, through days that felt endless, and nights that carried too much. You have lost parts of yourself you thought you have never get back. But here you are, still showing up, still reaching for light, still whispering, maybe, when your heart trembles with no. This is what healing looks like. Not a straight line, but a quiet return. You are not who you were, and that's okay. You are becoming someone deeper, truer, wiser. So be gentle with the parts of you still finding their way home. You're not behind, you are rebuilding, and that is its own kind of beautiful. So light a candle, breathe, and whisper to yourself, I'm still here, and I'm becoming. I love to hear from you. How do you find your way back to yourself after loss? Send me a message at throughtheashes@outlook.com with your first name, where you're listening from, and if I can share your story in a future episode. Next week, we'll talk about the seasons of grief, why some days you bloom, and others you fall apart, and how both are necessary parts of the same garden. We rise, maybe not fast, maybe not pretty, but we rise. I am Lily Rose, and this is Through the Ashes. See you next week.